Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here in the Turks and Caicos at a wonderful resort. It's called the Shore Club, and actually its sister resorts are the Palms and the Sands. I'm here with Karen Witt, who is the Vice President for Hartling Group, which is manages and owns all these properties. They're wonderful properties, and now the Turks and Caicos is wide open, ready to go for visitors, and we came down here because it seemed like a great place, and it's very convenient to get to from New York, from any place on the East Coast. And we're going to talk about the Shore Club in particular on Insider Travel Report. So Karen, first of all, thank you very much for hosting me down at the Shore Club here in Turks and Caicos. I know we've been talking about it for a long time, right?
James, it's so great to have you here in Turks and Caicos. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, it was great. We've been talking. I did an interview with Karen with an interesting story about how the Shore Club hosted a Passover Seder for a couple hundred way back in April, and we did a story afterwards. So it was but we thought we'd come down and actually check out the resort for ourselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about the resort because it is really a beautiful property. It's not on Grace Bay. It's where is it? It's Long Bay Beach.
Long Bay Beach, right.
Long Bay Beach, which is a different location. Everybody hears of the famous Grace Bay, and in fact, two of the properties that your group represents is the Palms and the Sands, which are on Grace Bay, but this one is not, and it has some unique advantages. The first thing I want to talk about is the accommodations, because they are beautiful, and they're really little mini apartments, pretty much, right?
So the business model in Turks and Caicos really is the condo resort model. And so we've kind of, built a good reputation in the whole destination for that. Many of the resorts here follow that same model. Mm-hmm. What it gives you is a lot of flexibility. You'll have a suite that is a 1, 2, or 3 bedroom and can be sold as such. Mm-hmm. And it gives you space, and it gives you a lot more attention to detail. So the Shore Club is very much like that. However, we also have an added component in that we have private villas.
And I did, and I interviewed your owner, Stan Hartling, from Hartling Group earlier, and we were in an amazing villa with like 6 bedrooms, right?
6-bedroom villa, 8,000 square feet, which is located right inside the resort. So you have an option of total seclusion and privacy, or if you want to, you can just go right outside your gate and join in with the resort activities. Now,
except for, how many villas are there?
We have six villas.
And then you have how many rooms beyond that total?
So we have 110 keys in the condos. That's 38 3-bedroom suites, basically.
Those are pretty big, too. Yeah.
Those are spacious, yeah. 2,500 square feet if you rent all 3 bedrooms.
No, it is amazing, and you have a lot of room, a lot of space. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is the dining, of course, and you got some fabulous restaurants and some. So tell us about the 2 main restaurants.
So at the Shore Club, we have 2 very dichotomically different restaurants. One is a Japanese-Peruvian restaurant, Suren, and that was our flagship restaurant that we opened with. And recently, this December, we opened a second dining venue, which is called Almond Tree, and that is home-style Southern cooking food. It's amazing.
And we tried both, and it was really, both were amazing. And both times they're both outside, actually. They're in little courtyards, and really nice. And it's the Japanese Peruvian one is around this wonderful fountain, and the other one has the beautiful, they call it almond, is it Almond Tree?
Almond Tree, yes.
So it's Almond Tree is the second one. It is more, a little southern. I had a southern fried chicken or something with some other spicy sauce. It was very good. And then, of course, you have other places around where you can eat. We had lunch, actually, at the main pool, right?
So the Colonnade is the main pool, and the Rope Bar is where we would have lunch. So we actually have 4 restaurants on the property, 2 of which are only open in the day, so you have a little bit of diversity.
So what are the 2? You have the Colonnade one and the other one?
Colonnade, and we have Sea Grapes, which is on the beach, our resort pool restaurant.
We haven't tried that one out, so we'll have to see about that one. But so it's a wonderful dining experience, and then of course you have a tremendous spa as well, right?
We have a tremendous spa. So our sister property, the Palms, actually has the granddaddy of all spas, 25,000 square feet.
Right.
And it's the type of spa that has graced the cover of every A-list magazine you can imagine. So what we did at the Shore Club is something completely opposite. We didn't want to compete with our existing spa, which is so grand, and we decided to create something very holistic and organic. So it's actually on the property that we left in a very natural state. You go down a serenity path through some very indigenous flora and fauna, and you find your way into the cutest, quaintest spa on the island. The treatment cabanas are actually located on the dunes. So you have...
I give sort of every paths lead to all the different cabanas that you can go, and that's where you have your massage, right?
That's where you can have the massage, and you have a choice. You can have it with the windows and the doors open, facing the water, or in private. So it's a very different experience.
It is a very different, and they look really lovely. Then, of course, you have some incredible pools. You have that main pool we were referring to, which is just behind your main buildings there, which is absolutely, wonderful. And then you have two others. You have the sort of the beach pool, right, which is families. That's for families too. The main pool. Second pool is beach pool, and then there is actually an adults only pool, right?
We actually have 4 swimming pools.
I messed up. I forgot about the one. I forgot about the fitness pool, right?
We have a lap pool in our wellness center, which is flanked by a yoga pavilion and the fitness center. And all of our pools also have some private cabana space. Right. So wherever you are, if you're not interested in the sun or you just want a little privacy, you can hop in a cabana, be comfortably around the pool. But yes.
No, yeah, that was amazing. That all over the place. And actually, I don't know how I forgot the fitness pool, because that is where the current COVID-19 testing location is that we all unfortunately have to have when we go back to the States. And it was a very efficient process. And I passed, although darn, I passed. I could just stay here, right?
Going home.
I'm going home. I'm very upset about this. I could have been here for another 10 days, but things happen. But now, the other thing I want to talk to you about, it's rather unique, is that you have these main buildings with the 110 keys, and then underneath everything, you actually have a basement area where everything takes place. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's unique to any resort on an island I've ever heard of.
So we have an underground world at the Shore Club where all the back of house services really do take place and come alive. There's also parking. There's private parking. So that space actually serves a lot of different purposes. Number one, it gives you privacy. You can actually enter any of the buildings, and especially the villas, from underground. So if you have a client or a person that just really doesn't want to walk through the lobby and be seen, we can take them into their unit from the underground. But what we've done purposefully is created an environment so that the back of house services, you're not seeing people running around. Notice there's no housekeeping carts. There's no, even room service is done downstairs. So we have kitchens downstairs. We have housekeeping and laundry. We have engineering down underground. So this is where it all kind of takes place, and then they access from the elevators, so you don't see a bunch of service staff running around, which adds to just the whole serenity of the resort.
It is quieter. You do see service staff fixing the gardens and things like that, and obviously serving you at the different venues. And the service is, by the way, I have to say, excellent. I mean, your staff at the Shore Club is really super, very, very friendly, very open, and of course I guess they're happy to see us back, right?
We are so happy to see everyone back, and we've had a magnificent summer and fall, and we're looking forward to a really positive first quarter.
Now, we go out, obviously, to about 95,000 travel advisors out there. Is there anything else you want to tell them about how best their clients can enjoy the Shore Club?
So I guess the first thing that I would want to say is just, thanking you personally for being here and for helping us spread the word, but also to our travel advisors, just, again, gratitude for the partnerships that we have, because that's what it's really all about, the relationships, the partnerships. We try really hard in Turks and Caicos, not only at Heartland Group, but we're a small-knit community, and we're very close, right? We're very close-knit. All of our resorts work together, private sector, public sector. We join hands and really try to do our best to make this process as seamless. We work closely with the government officials to help craft the best way possible in terms of new protocols. You know, we all did this together, so you don't have a lot of differences in the destination. Once you see one, it's pretty much the same across the board. And at the Shore Club and at all of the Heartland properties, really, I think our number one goal was to ensure that we could still provide the same experience that guests yearning for and expect from before, however, giving you that level of confidence with your safety, your security, you know, with post-pandemic protocols. And I think we've done that successfully.
Well, I do think you do have to have a COVID test to get in. You do have to have a vaccination card to get into Turks and Caicos. It is a little involved, but I think it'll work out. You just have to be confident. And then, of course, once you're on property, almost actually all the staff are masked. I'd say the guests are sort of masked sometimes. We're supposed to be masked indoors. Sometimes we forget, I got to tell you, because that's the way that life is these days at all resorts. But it felt totally comfortable with this environment. First of all, you're really on your own. There's a lot of space, a lot of places to go. There's not a lot of people around. Nothing was crowded, and I think you're doing pretty well when we visited. So your occupancy, I don't know what your occupancy was right now, but it's enough so that you don't feel like you're overcrowded or that you have lots of people hovering over you, right?
Well, that's the amazing thing about the Shore Club. It was built very amenity rich. It's very low density, so you do have wide open spaces. We're 80% occupancy right now, so you can see that, you know, we can be full house. You're not going to have beach wars on the beach because there's plenty of space, and there's a lot of unique spaces as well. Stan Hartling is somewhat of a visionary, and he's kind of created an environment that lends itself to sort of different personalities, different moods. So you don't have to only be in one space or one feeling or mood. You can actually move around, and you've got.
You go from the beach and you go to the pool. You go to the beach pool. You go to the indoor pool. You can just hang out on your balcony, which is pretty massive, and enjoy that, or hang out in your very large suite. So there's a lot of places to get away. Karen, I want to thank you again for hosting me. It was great to see you. I know we did a Zoom meeting, and I also have to thank shout out to Valerie Wilson of Valerie Wilson Travel, and Keith Walden, who is of Departure Lounge, who were down with you and said you should call James and do an interview about your wonderful Passover celebration that you staged, because it was a pretty interesting story, and that actually you really did use your underground facility, and just finding out about that was pretty special. But again, thank you so much, and look forward to coming back soon.
Great to have you, and I look forward to you coming back, James. Thank you.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.